recording in progress.
Yeah, so we are talking about this problem, why my Mac starts freezing and cannot boot up. Because
now this is the problem.
This is the problem, right? Like, no, I have from time to time that it just freezes when you want, when it has a sleep-wake failure, but please ignore the below stack shot. What? I mean, why is
I don't think we're qualified for this.
Okay, cool. All kidding aside. So we want to release a major upgrade of GitLab UI, which drops browser support for some older browsers, which means we don't need to polyfill one older, one browser API called the resize observer. We already fixed this in GitLab UI. It's fixed in a branch there, but tests started failing in GitLab as well with every component that uses the observer, right? Under the hood. And so the problem is GitLab, not GitLab, but what do I want to say? So the problem is that JS DOM, which is the mock implementation under Jest's hood, right, doesn't ship the resize observer. And we have a mock implementation of observers already. It has some caveats though, and I'm going to take you through it and tell you what I found and how I solved my problem. And then we can do something else. And
you've already solved the problem.
Kinda. I still have some questions on what you think, right? So I'm just starting to share my screen. Is this the right screen? Do you see my browser? Or
I see the browser.
Yep. Cool. So
you might have a sleep-wake issue somewhere though.
Yes.
Ignore the stat trace there.
So what's really interesting, the current implementation of our mock observers just support one mock observer. And so all the things that we do on the one mock observer, if we decide to mock a certain observer, will just happen on the last one that we've built. So in case, and what we actually have in the code, on the test, if we accidentally create multiple observers, we didn't trigger like the observation on all the observers, and we actually created like too many observers. And so yeah, I modified this code to handle multiple observers and just iterate through them and just have one trigger function. We also had this thing where we counted the observers, which isn't really the thing that we actually wanted to test in a test that did it. In the test that did it, we wanted to see that, stuff gets properly disconnected. So I changed the tests to spy on the observer disconnect and, hey, that shouldn't have been called. Okay, we're destroying. It has been called one time, right? But now the fun thing is, suddenly tests started failing in the Jest integration tests. And I'm like, what the heck happened? Because I chose with the resize observer, this is the observer where we drop the polyfill, and suddenly a lot of tests start failing. And the fun thing is we also have a lot of tests that actually don't do anything with the mock intersection observers. We just need to add them so that the tests don't fail because some underlying components are creating observers, right? So you can see here, like we're using a mock observer, even though that the mock observer, we're not doing anything with the mock observer. So my thought is, hey, why don't we add like all the observers globally and we're good to go? And if we need to override them with our mock that does, more things, we can use the existing mock observer. And finally, tests started failing, and it all comes down to this. Wait, I should share my code. I commented this out again. I'm logging all the observers, and it seems JS DOM actually implements a proper mutation observer. So we actually just need to mock the other three because we actually have a proper mutation observer.
Cool.
Yeah. So that's the fun thing. And now I was trying to
When
Now
you say, sorry, when you say JSDOM implements a proper mutation observer, you mean it actually works like a mutation observer should?
So, and that's actually pretty funny because I just fixed a test, like a normal Jest test, because I thought, wait, oh God, give me the last commit here that I didn't push yet. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. What is happening? Okay, so I already fixed this one spec. And in this spec, we have a mutation observer on this blob viewer element, right? And we actually looking for mutations on the attributes. And with my changes, this spec failed. So I now manually trigger the mutation observer, right? The mock mutation observer. And then the tests work again. But this all just happened because I overrode the original observer, right? So in order to test my theory that I now fix things with, this, let's not mock the mutation observer, right?
Yeah.
Let's start this one spec again, and I'm going to increase font size here a little bit, right? Cool. Please. Yeah, it's passing. I'm going to revert, or no, just reset file to state before commit, right? Boop, boop, boop. Cool. So tests probably should still be passing. Let's double check that the file actually has been, which one is it? Table content spec. Yeah, it has been reverted to the old one,
Can
right?
you just, it's probably unnecessary, but can you kill and restart the Jest process?
Yes, it actually does it automatically.
I know, but it was off screen, so I didn't see it.
Okay. Cool. The spec should now be failing because we created the environment like and overrode the mutation observer. Yes. And so if we fix that again, it seems like we need to restart when we change the environment, right?
Yeah.
It actually works. So yeah, the fun thing was we don't need to override a mutation observer here, right?
Cool.
So it's really funny because this, I think, we already had the performance observer here as a no-op observer, by the way. And the only thing is we're adding the intersection observer and the resize observer. So anything that relies on them doesn't need like a manual mock anymore, which I think is an improvement. The only downside I could see is like what happens if JSDOM actually starts implementing these.
Yeah, hopefully that'll be like a change log or something, and we can, hopefully.
What we could do here is we could do a check in the environment setup so that if it's already defined, then we don't override it, but we maybe log a warning.
It's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're basically saying for const
using a for loop, man.
Yeah, like
Sure.
Of, not in.
Sorry. Too much bash, right? If this global observer
Well, we don't need to throw something, right? Like then we just peacefully move on, right? I mean, if it's already defined, doesn't that mean that we're just like with mutation observer, we're good?
override an existing JSDOM observer. Let me just.
Oh, I misinterpreted. I thought that let's just only set it if it's not already set.
I mean,
Right.
yeah, that also would be fine, right?
Like maybe we can console warn just like, oh, we already found this. We're not going to do anything. But then if we don't find it, we'll set it.
So how likely is anyone to ever see this console warning?
Yes, that's why I wanted to throw. So in case you update JS DOM, you actually need to think about what you want to do when you update JS DOM.
Yeah, I think either works. I think when you say, you know, who would see it, I think it would be obvious to anyone as soon as you run a, you know, focused Jest spec like we did just now.
That's true.
But throwing, I think, is, yeah, fail early, fail fast.
Cool. And then we just do this global observer equals no op.
Cool.
Can we throw a new error rather than a string?
Yes, sorry. Cool.
What's the implications of the difference?
Throwing a string
Has no stack trace.
yeah, exactly. You constructing a new error builds a stack trace and so on. So
Cool. So what we can do here now is we can just add like a mutation observer to see that this works and how this would work, right?
Awesome, yeah.
And oh, geez, we need to restart it, right? It's fun. It's pretty funny. So it actually means that we override an existing observer in JS DOM. Are you sure you want to do that? Do that, right? I mean, it's actually funny because now the question is like, do we even need the normal mock mutation observer anymore? Because you can just use the real observer. You can just do the real mutation, right?
So correct me if I'm wrong, but the mock observer is something that can be used for any one of those intersection, mutation, resize, right?
It currently can just be used for intersection and mutation observer because that's the only ones that we
we
use.
probably don't need the mock one. And yeah.
Yeah, and so the question
we probably don't need the mutation one. So
yeah, so and it's actually funny because
well, it looks like we use like triggering it, and that's
yeah, and that's what I meant, right? So rather than mocking and triggering it, we actually could trigger the mutation that should cause the thing to, you know, like for example, if you go into the popovers, you could probably, I mean, what are we checking here again? Here we're checking that the observer actually disconnects, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe a future pairing session can think about this.
I think what's written here looks fine. You know, we're just spying on the observer. We don't care if it's mocked.
Yeah, that's actually true, right? So, oh wait, trigger mutate. So we must do a mutation here anyhow.
Okay, so maybe we could do
so
a real
here,
mutation.
for example, instead of trigger mutation, we could actually just what are we doing here? Removes popover when target is removed from document. So we could just remove the target from the document, right?
Yep. Yeah, it's worth a follow-up for sure.
I mean, it would be interesting to check this, or do you feel this is out of scope?
I feel like it's out of scope because
you just want to work on a different thing, right?
Yeah. No, I feel like it's out of scope because the main goal is upgrading GitLab UI. And
actually, it's not the main goal.
Okay.
My main goal is to get the integration branch passing, and because this observer shenanigans is completely independent from the upgrade, kinda, we could actually pull it out into a new merge request, merge the mutation observer testing changes, and then go forward with our lives, right? And update GitLab UI.
Right, but like this test isn't failing, right?
So yes, this test isn't failing, but that's what I just wanted to see what actually happens if we. I was just, you know,
I see.
Gonna be like, hey, remove nodes. So what happens if we, you know,
actually remove it?
Target? I hope it's a normal, you know, and then, you know, remove.
I don't know, man.
I mean, if they have a proper implementation in JS DOM, this should just work, right? Yeah.
Does that really just work?
Yeah, I did.
Can
you really
you
comment?
Yeah,
Go
can
ahead.
you comment that out? Yeah.
Give little faith.
Wow, there you go. Yeah.
Yes.
So it's kind of a tech debt for someone to go and pull out all of the unnecessary use of the mock mutation observer, right?
Yeah, essentially what we're saying here, instead of mocking some DOM API, we can actually use it because JS DOM implements it, right? And that's actually preferable to the other stuff.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't do it all in the same MR. Like,
no,
no.
Definitely not. But
there are 3 specs files which use mock mutation observer.
Is that it? All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And another one is tooltips. So it's exactly the same spec, but with tooltips instead of popovers. And the other one is the image lazy loader.
oh yeah.
Yeah. And in the image lazy loader, we mock the intersection observer, which we need to mock. But yeah, I think it would still make the tests a little bit. I don't know how often are we triggering the mutations here. Trigger child mutation. So what is trigger child mutation? Yeah. So actually funny, because probably if we weren't overriding in this lazy loading spec, this should also work. But I agree with you folks that this is probably a follow-up, and it will be a neat MR just removing the mock mutation observer because we don't need it anymore.
Yeah. Pop a little good for new contributors and a little apple on it, and someone in the hackathon can pick it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make an epic out of it, for sure.
Create an epic for it. Yeah, exactly. And,
well, three issues, one for each of the specs.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I was wondering, because the fun thing how I detected it, by the way, is we're using this testing library called testing library for the integration specs. It seems to be similar to Capybara query stuff, right? And it's funny because it uses mutation observers under the hood. And I'm just like, how did this ever work in JS DOM? Because if it's using them under the hood, in order to wait for elements and these kind of things, how did that work? Because we just have the mock implementation anyhow, right?
Yeah.
Surely testing library has like a fallback. It can't.
No, it doesn't
strictly rely on mutation observer. That's really surprising.
No, I mean, it's basically like the wait for implementations in Capybara, right? Like you add a mutation observer that says, hey, I'm waiting for that element. Wait for whatever, right? Once the document body changed and an element is there, and give it a timeout of 2 seconds. I mean, yeah.
I'm just surprised that it doesn't have like, if mutation observer exists, use mutation observer, otherwise just poll or something.
What is Paul doing? Yeah. Okay, cool. Spend the first 20 minutes on that. We'll push the changes while we're talking about other things.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that was awesome. I also shared in our chat a link to, so I looked up on SourceGraph repos with JS DOM and Mutation Observer. You're lovingly sent to their Mutation Observer implementation, which looks like there's a commit from like 2 to 3 years ago that included this. So, but I guess maybe we were in a much older version of JS DOM when we first had to do the mock observer stuff. So that was interesting. Cool. Thanks for sharing that, IP. That was really cool. It's cool to see that we'll be able to test this in more of an integration. Does anyone have anything else that they want to pair on? I have a wealth of things that we can just pick from. I kind of like doing testing stuff, but I don't know if anyone, there's also, we could check out the Is This Known channel and just pick something that seems broken.
Oh, do you know what's been bugging me? And I think, Paul, it's either, I think you're involved.
We should really rename this call to Lee Codes with GitLabers.
This isn't as a me one though, actually. The next badge in the top left-hand corner for the last 3 months, that's been appearing big and then shrinking. Why does it do that?
Yeah, we can pair on this.
That's related to the recent I can't remember what it's called, the application utilities file getting loaded too late or something like that. It's CSS load ordering, basically.
Oh, I have another one that actually
I think it's
affects
also
me.
related
It's also
to startup
great.
CSS too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, was it the work you were doing to slim it down, optimize it? I can't remember what it was exactly now.
Yeah, we can, but we can fix it definitely. Yeah.
I have another one that relates to me actually,
Oh, okay.
and it's one that's really annoying. Wait, let me share my screen. I don't know if you want to work on that one.
Well, I do want to fix. I'm I appreciate you bringing that up, Lee, because it has bothered me for a little while. This next
I
spot.
don't know
Make
why
your
that
load
should
faster.
bother us. I
It's
honestly
very
don't.
fixable though, and I can't totally fix it. Oh, dude, we got to fix this one.
I feel like that was fixed at one point and it got broken again.
We need to.
No,
fix it
the
and-
fun thing is it really depends on which components are used. So if it's just me, it's fine. But if it's that list, and we have and also it's not necessarily about the merge, it's also about the busy indicator.
I think you
we
read my mind with that one because I had that on my list as well.
Yes. So I don't know.
Good old
And to be honest, I
Lucas,
don't know if it. I don't know
pound
if it relates to
39
this one.
Asterisk.
I think we. Can
I don't
do
know
both.
if it
I think we
relates
can
to
do
this
both.
one.
Do you want to do both? Let's do both of them.
Both of. Who wants to drive? I don't have a GDK running.
I can drive. That's fine. Let me just clear out some things. Which one do we want to do first?
If you're better, let's do the apostrophes and funny characters first. But if you're good at multitasking, Paul, what's your take on why the next badge was it Mark or someone's to do with what they said about the order of loading? Or
I think that's related, but it's also related to startup CSS, where we are loading initially just the critical CSS to get the top bar and the left sidebar to show up as soon as possible. But
yes, so I guess when
go ahead.
Sorry, Paul. I guess the issue is that we're doing startup CSS, but not in a canary scenario, right? That's got to be it.
And that's all we have to do is update our fixture to flag to force that next badge to show up, and it'll be caught. So that'll be really easy to do.
Cool.
Making people that have apostrophes and quotes in their name, that'll be the harder one.
More important though, how unloved must you feel to
Exactly.
How long has that been? It's not always been like that, all right?
I feel like I remember that being for years.
Oh really? Blimey.
Again, I think it was fixed and then got broken again.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's because we're concatenating strings. Merge, request, escape.
Yeah,
this is the issue, by the way. Oh, oops. I'm sharing it in the Zoom chat.
Okay. Yeah, let me hop in that issue. So I'm going to share my screen. I am going to you sent me a Zoom chat. Where did all the Zoom stuff go? Oh my gosh. Okay.
We can't see it, so we can't help you.
Okay. It's over here.
No, it isn't. At least in the screen share.
I think it'll hide on something like that.
I actually linked the code where it's broken.
Oh, you did? You rock, man.
So not for today, but I did a pairing session earlier in the week, and I actually used live share for the first time. Pretty awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
The VS Code live share?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Cool, man.
So that meant that we could multiple people could bash at the same time, but it gets a bit confusing if you put it on follow mode, so you can see where the other person's scrolling. And
did you try it on the GitLab repo, or have you tried it on?
Yeah, GitLab. Yeah.
Wow, that's really cool. So this is it.
So maybe go on master, because I think the busy indicator has been added after.
Okay.
The link has a specific commit that's quite old. I don't know when I raised that issue over a year ago. Oh, tooltip. See, generate assignee tooltip. Oh, we externalized it. So it might mean that we can fix it in one place for all the places.
That's nice. Do I got the source graph going to work for me? It doesn't seem to be working for me. Oh, am I not signed in? I am signed in. Anyways, I'm just going to open this up and VS Code. Guitar link. Boom. And we have generate assignee tooltip is coming from this function. And are we saying it's the sprint F that's potentially causing the issues? Let me get the GDK running and we can play around with it.
I think it's the sprint F, to be honest, because it's doing escaping. No, it's not doing escaping. Maybe the usernames here are already escaped, and depending where they're coming from, they could be escaped or could not be escaped, and then depending on how we use them in Vue, right? Like, it's.
Yep. Okay, we're gonna try to see if we can TDD this and create the failing test for it. So not sure where the name root is coming from. User data mock. Okay. So let's just create a new test for this. I'll create a new describe with user with a special user. Yeah. And all our users are special really, but yeah. With special user, and all right, we're gonna create a component. And so we're looking for tooltip has name is a thing, I guess. It's got to be true. User, we are gonna extend the data mock, but the name is going to be something like, oh, I don't know, Lucas IP. Like that? Or is it single quotes? It's probably single quotes, isn't it?
Yeah, it's single quotes.
And I didn't spell your first name right.
Yeah, it'll be single because David's one that I've noticed as well with his
right.
apostrophe.
So the big question though is this thing that goes into the thing already escaped, and that's the reason why it's like that? Or, that's the question.
Yep. While the GDK is starting, I was going to see if we can recreate the bug here.
Yeah. Cool.
So it sets tooltip with unescaped special characters. Man, it's going so slow for me. I don't know what's going on.
Maybe we need the live coding so that we all can type in that line, right?
I'm sure that'll help speed it up. Find tooltip text to be should be your name. So I'm actually, or at least contain your name. So I'm gonna put special name here. Lucas, you have a special name. Okay.
I'm going to search for a fictional character that has some apostrophes.
That's a good idea. I like keeping your name in there,
Nah, I don't like that.
Oh, okay.
Seems like person culty. I don't know.
Oh, you're right. If you wrote this and if you wrote this code, it would seem a little
What do you think of Conan Barbarian?
Oh, Conan Barbarian.
I mean, don't you know Conan the Barbarian, the movie?
Barbarian. Yeah, but I didn't know that there was a special character in this name.
No, that's why I said like Conan and everyone expected Brian and then Barbarian.
I think I have like a copy of The Hobbit around. I'm sure that there's some special Lord of the Rings characters.
Not that Tolkien or his, sues us. Is Tolkien already public domain? We need to find someone who's
sure
old
it is,
and public.
I'm sure it is.
I don't think so. I think that was the 30s or 40s.
All right.
It's not 100 years yet.
All right, we are loading.
Martha's Vineyard is good. Something like that.
Oops, sorry. What do you think of Rabbit O'Hare?
Nice.
Okay. it's so freaking slow, man.
Irish surnames.
Are you on a laptop or?
Well, yeah, but it's
And is the fan going mental? Is it 1,000 degrees?
well, it's not. I kind of think
He's got an old machine. He doesn't suffer from that.
no. That's there you go. It's just taking its time, but I think Sentinel-1, even though they've improved some of it, I've noticed with file system interactions,
antivirus or some annoying thing like that, right?
I've noticed.
So I have the theory that Sentinel-1 is trying to fight infection like your body by just increasing the heat, right? Like
That's pretty good. That is really good. I clearly have broken this, but it's passing. But this is.
So is that suggesting that it's injecting it's already escaping them before they get this far?
Can you show me what the find tooltip text method is doing? Function is doing?
Yep. Looking for title.
So it's just inspecting the attributes.
inspecting the attributes could be
Yeah,
problematic in case VGL tooltip escapes them later on.
Yeah, I think the GDK should be close to running. So let me start it. All right, well, that's still thinking about its life choices. Oh, it's ready now. Here we go. Here we go. This is it. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Not waiting for that redirect.
Nope. No, that takes way too long.
I wonder if it is other special characters though, or just the apostrophe.
It's a good question.
Yeah, can you chuck in some
German umlauts?
well, angle brackets as well?
Okay,
You
so
know.
let's create a user that is a special user.
I think you can just rename your root to.
You want me to just rename the root? Sure.
Yeah. I mean,
Add a profile. Here.
you can just name it root.
Yep. Where's
Something.
my
Full name? Administrator.
okay. So
Rabbit will do, won't it?
what kind of names are we looking for?
Yeah, go on.
We're looking for rabbit with an omelet. What are they called? The omelet.
So the omelet with an omelet. We need. No, I don't think you need to add an umlaut. Umlaut is the German ones when it's like an.
Should I put any more? Should I put any more special characters here?
No, it's fine for now.
Okay.
Like, because if we fix that escaping issue, I mean, we need to double check after we fix this that nobody can inject script whatever, right? Like, so you can maybe rename yourself to rabbit or hare script or like an empty div tag or I don't know.
Yep. All right. So here is MRs assigned to me. This is showing up in MRs or issues?
MRs, because MRs have probably also issues if you add the busy indicator. So you would need to add the busy indicator as well.
I'll also go to issues.
And yeah, it needs to have multiple assignees.
Okay. We are spinning.
I always wonder whether the animations of the spinning are synced.
They appear not to be. Oh, they are. They do appear. Are they? Or am I just looking at them wrong? Are they?
My eyes can't move that fast.
Okay. So we got the assignees, but this only happens if there's multiple assignees.
Yes.
So we're gonna add. I'll add Beth and Ezra here.
Yeah, and they cannot merge. So if Beth or Beth, and
Yeah.
now you need to change yourself to busy.
Set status.
I didn't realize that was a condition for it to happen, actually.
Yeah, I'm gonna be also a.
In the
Could be.
bathtub.
Yeah,
Bathtub
that's what
is
I was
good.
going to suggest.
Oh, in the bathtub. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
All right, busy.
So now you probably need to reload.
Yep. Unless this was just fixed recently, do you think this might have just been fixed? I'm on a recent mastery.
I think it's been open so long, I'd be very surprised if it had.
You'd be surprised if it was fixed.
I mean, you can do a git log on that avatar link, assignee avatar, no, on the helper function.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
but this is like a timeline of the file, and so I see the last change was 3 months ago.
No, okay, then it's not fixed.
So yeah, probably not.
Yeah.
Here we go. Oh yeah, that's the ticket. Let's
Cracking.
create our failing test. So somehow we need to mark ourselves as busy. That's coming from status information.
Or you can set cannot merge to true. Like, or can merge to false if you see it on the user, like the create component
really?
thing. Yeah.
Oh,
Like
like here's how set can merge to false.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, look here we've done. Oh yeah. I see. Status information is something we're building like this. Got it. So yeah, I'll set can merge to false. So over here when we were doing our test case, we'll just do can merge to false.
So really stupid theory here. Why are we even using sprintf? Because the translation, it makes no sense. Like,
That's a good question. That's
like, why are we even
question.
sprintfing it?
Yep. Unless there's a language that like expected like those things to show up
That you can swap them around. I mean, the whole translation here is you probably just need to write the 4 cases, right? Or like, hey, cannot merge and busy.
Yep.
Right.
But I think for the immediate, I mean, we could do that kind of fix, but I think for the immediate one, maybe we just want to string.
I just hope that it wouldn't add a regression, right?
Like what?
Like if someone comes in and actually fixes the translation, that you then end up with a regression again. I have the feeling that the escaping is happening somewhere down the tooltip route.
No, I think it's the sprintf because
per default it's escaping stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's transforming the apostrophe to the hex entity.
Yeah.
So this isn't working for me. And
is it worth us looking in the browser to see if the value that's being passed in has already been escaped before?
That's a good point. We could use the view def utils, right?
I've had a look, and the title attribute actually has what's displayed is exactly what's in the title attribute, basically. So it's already ampersand hash 39 and semicolon in the DOM.
So it's the sprintf, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm having a hard time creating a test for this. I'm here calling create component, but
so you're saying that is the name property is still okay, then it hasn't been escaped at that point?
Yeah, this test looks like it's still passing, which means
that's what suggests it's not the sprintf though, right?
So
but it's not even showing. It's not even.
Oh, you need to change the issuable type as well to merge request, I believe. I don't know if this is like. If you can, the cannot merge is basically issuable type and this user can merge. So if the issuable type, maybe it's easier to set the availability to busy.
Oh, you're right. Here's the issuable type. You're right. I didn't notice that. Thank you.
You're in the wrong test, right?
I am. Thank you.
No worries. I mean, it's early for you, right?
9. It's like 9.
Issue will type, not time.
Yeah.
It really is early for you.
No. Okay. So I've picked up a really bad habit this week. I've started playing chess, and I started playing bullet chess, which is 1 minute timer. And I'm so bad at it, but I get so addicted to it. It was like every time I lose, I'm like, oh, give me another one. And so I've been staying up really late playing bullet chess.
How does this thing special name? So we're using the name from the user, right? Can you just add an availability of busy as well, just for the
So we're talking
sake?
about, yeah.
It's can_merge.
Thank you. Thank you.
We should do one of these pairing sessions where we get TypeScript into the code base.
We should do one of these sessions where we just fix all the under the snake case too. Whoop, whoop.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Excellent.
All right. So let's fix this sucker. Okay.
So let's try the easiest one in the function, in that helper function. Can you just change this printf to be a simple concatenation just for?
Yep. So we're talking about return name. Let me move this to its own.
Probably you could just return status information map. Yeah, that's fine. Otherwise, you could have just prepended name to the status information.
That's true. I could have status information parenthesize prepended join. Yes, that's a good point.
Something. So what is
now?
Yeah, cannot merge. Yeah, it looks correct now. Yeah.
So what we're concerned about is if I'm, a script, if I'm a script kind of.
No, I don't think we're concerned about that, because I hope that our tooltip stuff is just not showing HTML here, right?
Yeah, it should be pushing it into, what is it, vsafe HTML or whatever else.
I mean,
I think it should be doing just a text content rather than inner HTML.
So you feel like there's not an XSS.
Let me look into the Bootstrap view code, because that's what it's eventually going into.
Okay. So I'm going to actually move this over to our parameterized specs. I'm going to move this over to our parameterized spec to where I can actually set the name here. And that should be nice. So let's do that.
Can we just change the mock?
Just change. Why don't you just change root to?
Well, I think
Rabbit O'Hare.
Well, I was wanting to test out a funky XSS case. I was wanting to do just one or two others.
But then how are you going to know what it ultimately does with it? Or are you expecting it to convert?
Yeah, because you're just checking the title attribute, right? You don't know what it does under the hood.
Yeah. So I don't feel like this would be the place to check that.
Well, if the title attribute does not include the fancy characters, then
I think it probably would include the fancy characters, but then somewhere down the line is preventing them from being rendered as HTML.
Yeah, given that we actually, if you're looking at the right, can you scroll down where we're actually using it?
Yes, just one second. And I'm fine removing this. But what were you looking at? Scroll down here.
Scroll down here, because we're just using. Where are we using the tooltip title, right? So one way to XSS us would be if view would be stupid, but view is not stupid. So if you're using double quotes here, it doesn't break the thing, right? So the other way how we XSS us here is if VGL tooltip renders stuff as HTML.
Right. So I've just had a look at that, and Bootstrap View, you have to opt in with an .html modifier to the tooltip directive.
So you would need to
Otherwise-
change it to vgl-tooltip.html.
Something like
Correct.
that. And
So,
so-
because we don't do that, it should just be text content.
would we like to include a test for that or not really?
The test wouldn't be in this component spec though, right?
Well,
I would rather add a linter that nobody uses the .html thing.
Yeah, I was about to say exactly the same thing.
that's great. Okay. All right.
That's a good follow-up, by the way.
I'm game.
Yeah.
But I do want to have rabbit. Oh gosh. Do they capitalize it's 2 capital letters, right? Yeah.
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 Oh gosh. Okay.
It's also funny that we have this it's a very complicated test to test that few strings are concatenated, right?
Yes. Oh, that's not how you do it.
Depends. You could make name an object.
Good. I could make all this an object, which I kind of want to, but I'm not going to.
It's funny because I always come back from this tabular markdown whatever syntax to just writing a list of objects because I ain't like
you get too big.
Yeah, I think
if it's too big, I'll do an array with objects like with input and expected. But if it fits, I kind of like it. You don't like it? I know you don't like it.
No, I just said that I don't like it, so it's fine. Yeah.
Okay. What happened? What happened? Oh, this one failed. This one.
The last one failed. Yeah, you can drop the last one, right? Like it's good. We've done the thing.
I want to because I haven't. Oh, I'm actually still running a test. That's what's going on. Oh gosh, I hope it doesn't do this like forever test loop. Yep. Oh, sets tooltip to expected. That's not gonna do it. I'm fine if we just say sets tooltip. Are you all okay with that?
Why is it complaining?
I don't know why. Why is
You've got mismatched. Oh no, you don't. Oh yeah.
Fine.
Jest minds.
I think it's
So here I would also complain. Why is this a describe each instead of a it each?
let's
but,
do it.
yeah.
You want to make it an it each?
No, I don't care. It's fine.
Okay.
It makes it a little bit more readable.
Yeah.
Cool.
Are we good?
Cracking.
So my question is, you fixed it now, right? Could you go back to your browser and check whether the dropdown is also fixed? I reckon not, right? So that's probably a different bug. Like if you go there and search for yourself, yeah, it's. I wonder where that is coming from.
I missed. Did you already check that it's rendering correctly? That we have fixed it in the other place.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, let's check that out. If we have some time, we might be able to fix it.
I don't know if we have time to fix it. To be honest, like we're looking to replace all the drop downs in the coming milestones anyway. So yeah, might be that.
Is that for reals?
Yes, this is Mark's new job starting August 16th, replacing drop downs.
It just so happens that my middle name is dropped down. Isn't that lucky?
Yes.
Mark dropped down Florian. That's pretty dope.
Yeah. It's because how often were you dropped down as a kid that your middle name is dropped down?
Oh, if only I could remember. It's just my memory is so poor. I don't know why.
What is this?
This is not Vue.
Oh,
This is
snap.
Paul. Do you know this file? I just showed it to Mark today. Can you search for user select?
Yes, good old user select.
Brace yourself.
Like it's user select index JS something. Not Vue, it's index. It's like a Java user select. JavaScript file. Yeah, there's a spec. No, that's not the one. Where is it? It's like in a folder.
Mark's already fixed it.
No, so search for users select index.js, right? That really should bring it up.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is like used to be CoffeeScript, right? This is one of those files that.
Yes, and it actually has two different implementations: either bootstrap select or select to, depending on the options you give it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So here's the other interesting thing. So you did talk about, do we want sprint F to be doing this kind of escaping thing?
Yes, we want to do it, because otherwise, if we just, for example, in this example, would plainly add it, you could end up with XSSs. But like if someone, because usernames are inherently dangerous because you don't have control over them, right?
Yes. But
and
don't we have new utilities for like doing smart sanitization? That's what I was wondering. Instead of just
we have them in Vue, we don't have them here.
But well, function, right?
We do have DOM purify.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's rather than doing just a naive escaping, maybe we want sprint F to do a purify.
In this instance, I would want us to replace the dropdown and just delete this whole file, because it's 853 lines long and nobody knows what it's doing. And it has 18 different parameters at the top.
Yeah.
Like anything that you change in this file can lead to a regression, right? Like look at this.
Yep.
Like,
yep. We did a I reviewed an MR of this, and I was like, this is so fragile to change. So this is one of the first penning tests that I did at GitLab, was because you just can't tell, am I going to break something or not? So we just penned everything, made some small change, and then thankfully the pens were good. But yeah, it is gnarly. And one of the things, there's like some lines of code, because this did come from CoffeeScript, which is kind of like Ruby, where like the last line is technically a return. There's some lines of code that are like just an expression that doesn't do anything, but it's meant to return it. That's something I've seen in like this kind of, it is wild. But I do want to fix the issue, like right now, I mean, this is a fairly big issue. Like,
sorry, Paul, did you fix it in the other? So now when you hover over the icon, it's fixed, is it?
Well, I don't think I've refreshed the page.
Okay.
But it should have been refreshed.
I know the test fixed, but sometimes, I want to see it.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. I don't know if it's fixed. Could still be that there's like a double escape happening later on, right?
That's true. That's true.
That would be funny though, like us talking about this big user select and we haven't fixed the original issue in the first place.
Yeah, I think probably get that to. Go ahead.
If there was a double escaping, I think we'd see ampersand.
Yeah, that's true.
Hash 39.
Oh, hair is busy. Yeah. I mean, I don't care about the dropdown, to be honest, because I always use the markdown quick commands. So I'm happy if that is fixed. And I think it's two different issues. You wouldn't want to fix them in the same MR.
I know it's two different issues. I want to fix it.
I mean, we can just remove all of the escaping that we do anywhere, right? And then we just get XSSs again. I mean, XSSs are good because some security researchers can make money, right? Like, so.
Exactly. No, totally. And yeah, I think that's the thing, is just keep overcorrecting if there's a bug, then overcorrecting it the other way, and then we all keep our jobs. So
XSS is a form of wealth generation. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, yes. No, wealth redistribution, right? Like from a large private company.
Yeah. So this is all we're doing.
Oh, this is already double escaping, right? And escape is even the wrong use here, right? Like, because sprint F
we actually want to probably deal with DOM purify, right? We have that function. Let's just try it out. Can I just try dropping it in?
Yes, please try it out. Like, just remove the two escapes and add like a DOM purify around it.
All right. So Where's DOM purify live? Is that just a?
It's tilde/lib/sanitize HTML possibly.
Okay, I'm gonna look for it over here. We're talking about
Sanitize.
No,
No, that's the wrong one.
yeah, that's just looks like. Well, let me see what this one references. Maybe this one has. Oh, is this? Is it? And we can just call sanitize.
It's import
that's the one.
sanitize from /lib/dom purify. Not this one. Just yeah, lib dom purify is the folder.
Okay. This
Yeah.
one.
Right.
Yeah.
And so
Because it has some default configs and stuff, right? Like, and you just import sanitize.
This is what I can import. All right.
Yes.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Where do I gotta go? I guess I go here. Just how do I alphabetize things? Okay.
I regret. I think we should pull out the alphabetization of imports. It really irritates everyone.
Yep.
You know, I would like to add an import rule that, by the way, replaces the 2 dots with a tilde because it's shorter. Right? Like.
Oh, you mean like here because we are still going to the root?
Yes, and I would love if that would be consistent. That's more important than the order for me. But to be honest, like ESLint can fix it, right?
Here's the thing why I would rather us not try to make imports pretty. Because if you don't have a lot of them, it shouldn't be a big deal. And if you have a lot of them, that is a signal your component is probably doing too much, or your module is doing too much. And it's like,
or that you probably want to, how it should be structured yourself better. I saw an instance of that the other day.
Right.
You want to group things together in a more logical fashion.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Where were we? I'm looking for.
Oh, that's a good question. Like drop. Yeah. You actually had another function that also had like a list, right? Like format result, obviously, and render row are 2 different things.
Can I suggest, rather than doing this, just import sanitize as escape?
Are they the same? Probably.
Nope.
Well, they don't do the same thing.
Are we using them the same? That's what I'm wondering. Are like in this case, are we using them the same?
So actually, the usage of escape here is wrong. Like because escaping is escaping some things while sanitizing is sanitizing things.
But
like
we were using escape to sanitize, right?
Correct.
Okay, but you're saying let's just do sanitize as
escape and drop the escape from Lodash. Yeah.
All right, I will commit this in a separate MR, and then we can
see it. All the specs fail, right?
All the specs fail. Man, that'd be wild if we had a spec that was asserting.
Yeah, you're right. It would be wild. No, you can end your sentence there. It would be wild if we had a spec.
It'd be wild if we had a spec. You know, I think this one has this user select have. I think it does. That's the craziest part. Oh, does it? Oh, you better believe it does.
There it is. Oh, it also has an EE version. Yeah.
Yep.
Wait for it. Yeah.
Yeah, but when the spec is smaller than the implementation, that's a bad sign.
Much more.
Oh yes, it's like a 10th in length, right?
Yep. I think I may have been. Oh, I was. Yeah, I was responsible for adding the spec because it had no specs, and then we were run to issues, and I was like, we got to do some sort of thing here. But because there's an EE version, which
I thought Evan, you committed that, right? Because it says you.
Yes, you're right. No. Okay, it's not finished loading. What's wrong with this? Oh, it's so slow.
I mean, it said even you, even you committed this.
All right.
So we want to see it.
I know. Come on.
Then I want to call my wife to, fetch me for dinner. Oh, new episode of Ted Lasso. Nice.
All right.
Oh, it's Ted Lasso, probably. Yeah.
Oh, it might be because I have the console open, so it's like disabling cache. I don't know. So I need to probably turn it off and on my computer. It gets so slow at times.
No, they're definitely not synced, the rotational thingies.
Definitely not synced.
Definitely not synced.
They all kind of look synced to me. But
maybe it's the zoom thing, the compression of the.
Oh, maybe that's interesting. Oh, come on.
To be honest, like we were calling escape there. We were calling escape there quite a lot. So it could be that DOM sanitize now runs like 20 times on that one line, right? Like for each line or something like that. And so that we actually have like a performance regression here.
Yeah, DOM purify is quite a lot heavier than just a plain escape.
Yeah.
Well, that's too bad. Maybe.
But you weren't intending on that as the final solution though, right? You just kind of wanted to smash that in to see if it fixed.
Yeah. I think I'll create MR with a to-do question about, maybe we don't want to hit that performance bit, and maybe we want to just create
selectively replace a few of the escapes, maybe, or something.
Yeah, that would probably be
probably good enough if you take the escape, remove all the escapes and wrap in each of those functions that uses them, wrap the whole HTML in a DOM purify, sanitize.
Well, would that work? Because
the
whole
thing is, what might happen in that case is someone might construct a username which breaks the rest of the template that's being built. So I guess it could break that. So someone could have a username that means that no one after that gets rendered. But I mean, I think the thing is, like Lucas is right, let's just not worry about it, because me, Elena, or Mike is going to be tearing this to pieces, throwing it away soon, hopefully.
I think an immediate user win would be cool, but hopefully one that's just super easy, and hopefully one that doesn't hurt the performance. Like
we could just add a database constraint that usernames are not allowed to contain a quote.
Yeah,
I mean, by the way, fun way, right? We had a constraint that your username is not allowed to end in a MIME type. Like we have a constraint that your username is not allowed to end with .html, because we had like browser issues with that and people could construct weird things. And we went a little bit overboard and excluded all the MIME types. And we also had a mistake before where we didn't check for .mime type, but just for the MIME type. So like people like that are named Asimov, right? Were not correct usernames anymore. But now Asi.mov is not a correct username anymore. Like,
what was the actual problem we were trying to work around there?
I think the URL.
Can you turn off the recording? Then I can tell you.
Oh, all right. Peace out.